Alright, so if you keep up with the channel, you'll know that I got quite a few motorcycles, but one of the things you'll see is that I don't put motorcycle covers on them. And that's mainly because I've never had any kind of good luck with motorcycle covers. But this company, it's a FENRIR, has sent me a cover because they saw out on video how many bikes I had. And so they wanted me to look at their cover to see what I thought about it. So got a cover here, and it's a big one. It's a 96 inch is what it shows. I'll put a little link up there, but it's for a big bike like this big 1400 Intruder, or maybe my second gen 1100 over there. But we're going to set it up on this bike. But the thing that I don't like about covers is that when you ride them, and as you can see on this bike, this upper pipe gets pretty hot. And they don't have a lot of protection on the inside of the covers for heat, and it ends up melting the cover and sticking it to your pipe. Then it messes the chrome up on your pipe. So before we put this thing on there, I'm going to do a little heat check, because I got me a heat gun and also a temperature gun, and we're going to see just how heat resistant this cover is. So let's get set up over here, and we're going to test out this cover and see if it's worth it to get it, or if I might just set it aside and tell the company I'm not interested in it. Alright, so let's get this thing unwrapped. Like I say, I hadn't looked at it and don't know much about it, never heard of the company, but if they make a good motorcycle cover, I might consider getting a couple of these for my bikes. So let's take it out here and just see what it's about. Alright, so it comes in a nice little bag, which I've never used because I should have it on my bike. So let's get it out of here and see. Because the biggest thing I want to check is the heat resistance of it. So it tells us a little bit about it, but it says it's got a heat lining inside of it. And that's what I'm interested in, is to see just how good their liner is. There we go. We're finally getting down to the cover. So this would be the outside of the cover. It's pretty heavy. A pretty heavy cover indeed. So let's see if it is big enough to fit this big old Intruder, and then we're going to flip it over and do some heat testing. So as you can see on the inside, it's got, this is the regular part, but this is supposed to be the heat resistant part. So the big question will be is where that sits on the pipes and whether or not it's going to get hot. Trying to put a blanket on a horse. There we go. So pretty nice cover indeed. But right here, as you can see where the blue line goes, that's going to be the heat part. So that's down there where the exhaust pipe is, so that's pretty good. That covers it up. Now this one, the pipe for the upper is right there. So if the handlebars are holding it off, that's going to keep it off that pipe, so that works okay. So the biggest thing is down there on the bottom where it touches. So let's zip it up and see. Alright, so as we can see, for this 96 inch cover on this big old 1400, it does fit, but it won't quite get over the front wheel to get it tucked down unless I put the mirrors out. So that would be a pretty good cover for this motorcycle, as big as it is. And I do like it because it's got this reflector on it right here. So if it was out somewhere, somebody would see something versus seeing this big black cover and running into it. And it's got the air vents so the air can flow up under it. It won't try to blow the cover off. That's kind of nice. It's really, really thick. So it's thick material. Got the nice little clips that go underneath the bottom you saw me putting on. And the little pulls in the front and the back to go around the wheels. And it's got vents in the back. So yeah, so it's not a bad cover at all for the price. For sure, I looked up how much it was online, and I'll put a link to the web address so you can look these up. But this is the 96 inch cover, and I'll put that up at the top of the screen. So now let's flip it over here, and we're going to do a little heat test and just see, because they said it was heat resistant on the bottom for the pipes, and that's one of the things I didn't like about the cheap covers that I'd gotten in the past, is that it would burn the cover. So let's get this thing flipped over, and then we'll put some heat on it and see just what it do. Alright, so time to do a heat test on this area down here that they have got listed as heat resistant. But before I do that, I want to see just how thick it is. So I'm going to put a caliper on it. So it's showing about 40 thousandths thick. So that's doubled up. So it'll be about 20 thousandths. So that's actually really thick material. It's like heavy duty. Up here, it doesn't feel as thick. It's about 30 thousandths doubled. So it's about 15 thousandths, but still pretty thick for just vinyl fabric, waterproof fabric. All right, so let's get set up here, and we're gonna put some heat on this thing and see what it does. So we got our little heat gun here, and I'm just gonna heat it in this area. We'll let our heat gun get hot. We're gonna see how hot it gets, because I'm just gonna touch it to it. If I put direct heat on it, it's not going to be a good indication of the pipes, because the pipes are hot from the surface, not really hot from air. So what I want to do is get this thing heated up really, really hot. So I think it actually is pretty heat resistant. It's not doing anything to it. Now this area right here is probably going to mess up. Now you can see it start changing the fiber. So that's not the heat resistant part, but this part down here it must be some kind of fiberglass or something, because it's not having a problem at all with that heat on it. So I guess they were right that material there is heat resistant, and it doesn't seem to melt or anything when you touch something super hot to it. So that may be pretty good, because that's down there where the pipes are, down on the bottom. And you can see that surface goes all the way up to that blue line right there, basically. And so that covers the whole bottom of the pipes down there. So that actually looks like a pretty good cover. Nice and thick, much thicker than the ones I had before. I like that little reflective thing on there as well. But it doesn't quite fit the width of these mirrors on this intruder and get over the top. But I got the 1100 over there, so let's run the 1100 over here and try the cover on it and see, because it says it also fits that. So that'll be more towards my Viragos and things. Maybe I'd have to go up just a little bit bigger on the cover for this 1400 intruder, or just have the front wheel uncovered a little bit. But either way it goes, the cover looks pretty good. So let's switch out motorcycles. We're going to go get the Virago 2nd Gen, the XB 1100, and see if it fits on that one. Alright, so here is the Virago 1100. So it's a little bit smaller bike than the 1400 intruder. So this cover may fit perfectly on it. Its mirrors don't stick out near as wide. So I'm hoping it'll get all the way across front to back on this one. So let's get it put on here and just see how it fits. There we go. And it's even got little holes here so you can put a lock on for your wheel so nobody can steal it. So there you go. So it fits this XB 1100 really well. This is a Virago. A little bit small on the intruder because the mirrors stick out so far on that bike, but it would work. I mean, for coverage and everything. It just fits this one so much better, and the little ties in the back pull up underneath the tires to keep the wind from blowing. But I do like the cover. Overall, it's made really well. I like the heat resistant stuff on the bottom below the blue line, so that covers all the exhaust. This up here's got the air vents and the reflectors. Pretty thick material, and it's made well. Like I say, there's a little hole in the front, and you can put a lock for your front wheel to distract anybody from wanting to steal your bike. So I'll give this cover a pretty good review. And like I say, this is the 96-inch cover. So overall, it's made really well. So I'd say they did a good job on it. I'll keep it on the bike, and we'll say thumbs up to them for sending it to me. And we'll put it on this 1100 right here and see how well it does. Well, alrighty, thumbs up to them. They make a pretty good cover. And thanks for watching.